In order to better understand animals and our tree of life in the coming lectures, we need to think about how animals feed. So when we look at autotrophs, auto is self. So we think about these as organisms that can make food for themselves, but we have options. So photoautotrophy is the one you're probably most familiar with. So this is an organism that takes light and CO2 and makes some energy-rich compound that they can use. So we would usually look at these as sugars, something like that. So this would be your example of plants and their normal photosynthetic properties. Chemo Autotrophs, on the other hand, take inorganics like hydrogen sulfide, and they're actually going to take carbon in the form of CO2 with those inorganics and then create sugars and the other resources that they need as far as energy-rich compounds. So the difference being they're using inorganics instead of light, like in our plants that we saw. Now these are going to be a lot of our extremophiles, the archaea that we've talked about, that are going to be able to use things like hydrogen sulfide and so on. Heterotrophs mean that you need to eat someone else. You can't produce your own food. So from that standpoint, we would look at you as being a chemo heterotroph, taking an organic molecule like sugar and then breaking it down into CO2 and energy, ATP in the case of you. Now, photoheterotrophs then are a little weird, okay, because they're looking at taking the carbon from their environment, so the organics as normal, but they're actually getting their energy is actually coming from sunlight. So they're going to use the organics for the carbon-based structures that they need, but they're going to get their energy all from sunlight. So I give you a couple of examples on the side here. The photoheterotroph over here on the side is this purple kind of oozy stuff is actually a photoheterotroph. So it's using the carbon from its environment, but it's using energy in the form of sunlight. Interesting kind of concept. Chemo heterotrophs, you and many other things, of course, would fall into this category. The one I show you down here at the bottom is actually an iron oxidizing bacteria that would act the same way as you do. It has to eat and get its energy and carbon source from whatever it's taking in.